Laptops have been recently getting traction with ARM-based processors. If you're not familiar, these types of processors have architecture that are similar to what we get on our mobile devices. And these are now making its way into our laptops. This is the ASUS Vivobook S15, one of the first laptops to get the Snapdragon X Elite ARM-based processor. And it's impressively powerful. However, there are a few things that you might want to know before getting one. And that's what we'll be talking about here in this video. The ASUS Vivobook S15 retails for 69,995 pesos. First things first, let's check out the specs of this laptop. Again, this is running on the Snapdragon X Elite processor with the Qualcomm Adreno GPU. It also has 16GB of LPDDR5 RAM, 1TB of M.2 SSD, and a 70Wh battery. Now, we've mentioned that ARM-based processors are similar to what we get on our smartphones. A question that you might probably have in your head would be, what are the benefits of having this type of architecture in a laptop? Well, I can actually give you a few things. First, and probably one of the biggest benefits, would be the more efficient performance. Along with that would be cooling performance, power consumption and battery life, size and weight, and this laptop is actually created with AI capabilities in mind. And all of the benefits that we've mentioned, you will be getting in the ASUS Vivobook S15. But before we dig deep into that, let's talk about its design first. This is a 15.6-inch laptop and it's in a silver aluminum chassis. I don't know if you can see, there is the Vivobook branding right there. You can right away tell that it's not of a gaming line, it's more of a professional looking laptop. It seems to target more of the professionals or young professionals with its design, and I think by the sheer look of it, it does a great job of achieving that. It's also very lightweight at only 14.7 millimeters thin, and it's only 1.42 kilograms in weight. You can see that I am pinching this right now and I can just hold this up with just a few fingers. It's that light. For this size, we are getting a decent amount of I/O ports. On its left, we have a full-sized HDMI port, 2 USB-C Thunderbolt ports, a micro SD card slot, and a 3.5mm audio port. On its right are two 5GB full-sized USB-A ports. Underneath the laptop, you can see we have a long cooling vent and two bottom-firing speakers. Opening it up, since this is a 15.6-inch laptop, we are getting a bigger sized keyboard with a numpad. I like the feedback of this keyboard. It has pretty decent key travel. It also doesn't feel mushy, and it gives out a decent, satisfying feel when using it. On its top right, you can see that they have placed the power button on the keyboard. They have done before power buttons that are a little bit recessed. Here, it's quite on the same level as the function keys here on the top. It is going to be a little bit more likely for you to accidentally press that. Although I haven't accidentally powered this off while using it. It does feel a little bit stiffer to press when compared to the other keys here on the keyboard. Also, we are getting a bigger trackpad, and this trackpad is pretty decent as well. It's large. With the large surface area, it's also going to be a lot easier to do our swipe and touch gestures on this. So this is something that I also really like. Having the Snapdragon processor, it's obviously not going to be as big as a standard x86 processor, so I'm pretty sure they were able to cut down on the size of the cooling hardware, which is probably how they made this laptop into this slim profile. I'm honestly quite impressed at how slim and light this is for a 15.6-inch laptop. Just last week, I was out with this in my bag at the recent Camera House Photo Olympics, and they've had this in my camera in my bag for an entire day, and it didn't even bother me. So I really love that this is incredibly lightweight. For the display, this is a 15.6-inch 3K OLED panel, and it's a 120Hz display. It's literally the best OLED panel that I've seen at this price point. I have a Vivobook Pro 14 OLED, both from ASUS, both Vivobook laptops and both OLED, but this one is just way better. Well, 120Hz is quite nice. We don't have many apps that would take advantage of the high refresh rate as of now, but with what we've tested with a lot of games, it's a really nice display. Also, I think that the 3K resolution for this size of screen is a really nice balanced look. We get a wider field of view, more workspaces for more productivity. I love this display. Going into this laptop's performance, as I mentioned earlier in this review, it's impressively powerful. It's not quite going to beat its x86 counterparts just yet. I'm talking about the high-performance gaming tier of x86 processors. But if you are going to compare this with a lot or the majority of the laptops that are out in the market, this will likely outperform majority of business type laptops that you will find. For typical productivity apps like word processing, Excel, PowerPoint, this is going to be impressively fast. This is not going to lag behind when you are doing work on this. I've used this for work. Surprisingly, this works great for games as well. I've played a ton of games on this. I've actually downloaded a lot of my Epic Games free game library, and when it works amazing. However, there is a big catch, and it's the app compatibility. Unfortunately, most Windows apps aren't designed with the ARM architecture in mind. And while most will work on this, I have encountered issues with quite a number of apps and games. Like, I've played Wolfenstein New Order. It looks absolutely great. It's incredibly fast, but random crashes are just too frequent on this laptop. It is able to run at 1080p, everything on high, and it runs very smoothly. It's just so disappointing that random crashes kinda makes it unplayable. Well, personally, I would really call it unplayable. I'm just not able to finish this game. And it's not just games. My mouse, I have my Corsair mouse right here, and even just the app for this mouse, it doesn't work. It's going to install, but it's not going to allow you the added functionality of the mouse. The mouse will work if you do not install the app, but once you install it, it's gonna work like crazy. So app compatibility is an issue. But don't get me wrong, there are plenty that do work without any problems. I can play Shadow of the Tomb Raider at an impressive speed at its lowest setting, and you can play without any hitches. And for a laptop that isn't designed for gaming, I am very impressed at the gaming performance that you can get out of this. Now, of course, it will work even better for games that are designed for the ARM architecture. Like with Genshin Impact, this runs at maxed out graphic options at 1080p, and I am just stunned at the performance that you can get out of this. No slowdowns whatsoever. I just really wish that there's a lot more that will work without any problems on this. This is a very promising performer. It's just the app compatibility that's really holding it back. We will probably get more apps that will be compatible as developers try to develop their apps and games with the ARM architecture in mind. I really hope that time comes very soon because I am a big fan of the performance of this laptop. Compared to traditional architectures, this laptop runs significantly cooler and quieter. This is literally one of the coolest Windows PCs that I have ever used in my entire life. Of course, there will still be times that it will run a little bit hotter than usual, but with my time with the Vivobook S15, it never felt hot to touch on normal use despite having an aluminum build. We all know that aluminum tends to feel hotter on the hands. Here, the only time that I felt this getting hot was when running benchmarks. And the portion where it felt significantly hotter is at its bottom where the vents are located. Talking about its battery life, this is one of the biggest benefits of having that ARM architecture. I think this is already the longest lasting Windows laptop that I have ever used. I haven't done a battery loop test on this, but this is rated to last more than 18 hours on battery. And with my experience on this, I'm pretty sure this is capable of lasting even longer if you are the type would like to lower down the brightness a little bit and turn off the internet when you're not using it. 18 hours battery, I think, is going to be easy on this. I even go out with this with just half a charge, and that's still able to last me a whole work day. It's impressive, and I hope that all Windows laptops gets to a point where this type of battery life is the standard. Overall, I think the ARM architecture is here to stay. And with the Vivobook S15, you are going to get all the benefits that we've just mentioned. Excellent battery life, an amazing screen, a very lightweight laptop. This is just great. The only thing that you have to watch out for is you have to find out if the apps that you are going to be using or you are mostly using on your laptop will work on this. And for me, I would consider the benefits that we've just mentioned to be an incredible value for this price point. 69,000, that's less than the price of the cheapest MacBook. And yeah, if you want to experience all of the benefits that we've just mentioned, the ASUS Vivobook S15 is a great laptop. So that's about it for this video. Let me know, guys, what you think of the ASUS Vivobook S15. If you have questions, just feel free to ask them. Once again, this has been Andre from Tech Local. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video.